which those meetings cover all of that. Your recovery started with drugs and alcohols?
It did. I mean, I was one of those kind of men that kind of struggled with a lot of stuff. But, you know, as you look back, I definitely think pornography was the culprit.
Really?
Yeah, I do. You know, I think pornography was this kind of gateway drug that led me to a lot of dark places.
Yeah, I'd love to hear your experience, strength, and hope today. Just take us kind of on your journey. This is what people do in meetings a lot. They'll share their experience, strength, and hope, and your journey with like intimacy, sex addiction, pornography addiction, et cetera. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's great. And so, you know, I think it started for me in the late 90s. You know, I was living in New York City, working in financial services, from all outward appearances, like doing great in life. You know, I remember moving kind of my first nice apartment and 32nd floor of a building. I'd worked so hard for this, right? Like, my goodness.
A walk up? No.
No, it wasn't a walk up. 32 floors is a long way to walk.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But what I do remember within a few weeks is getting the internet in my apartment for the first time. Pretty cool, right? People could do research. They could do a lot of things with the internet. Like, not this guy. I mean, I use the internet for porn. And so really for the first time in my life, I had like unlimited access to pornography. And I'll tell you what, when I watched porn, it lit me up like a Christmas tree. When I watched porn, that fog of depression that kind of hovered over me much of my life lifted.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
I can kind of relate a little bit what you're talking about. Like there's something else with it that feels very addictive.
You know, there's a euphoria to it.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, it worked just like a drug for me, right? That anxiety I felt, that kind of loneliness that was so profound vanished when I watched porn.
Oh,
so, you know, I watched porn to really numb difficult emotions. And it worked. It worked really, really well.
And were you using it like, were you just kind of like using it once a day, or was it like, was there an actual like heavy use of it, or it was just like this outlet that you knew that was there?
You know, it started off as an outlet, but then things started to change. You know, this is long before we had cell phones that had pornography. So this was on a laptop in my home. And what I noticed was this progression. I started watching porn for longer lengths of time with more frequency. I kind of needed porn. You know, there were nights I'd be watching porn throughout most of the evening.
What?
100? I'd go for hours.
Wow.
And, you know, I'd wake up or like come to in the morning, like disgusted with myself.
Oh, yeah.
Disgusted. I'm never doing this again. I would actually, on multiple times, I would get the laptop and I would throw it down the garbage chute on the 32nd floor in absolute disgust. But, you know, a few days later, I'd be back in the computer store telling this poor guy, yeah, we have a growing business and we need more technology. Little thing I know, I was throwing my computer away because I couldn't stop watching porn on it.
The guy's like, dude, too bad they don't have an Olympic event for guys who are sick of watching porn on their laptops. That would be so much further than discus, I think, you know?
100%.
But dude, that's crazy. Imagine like some guy is just like some little R2-D2 human and there is like, what, another one?
Another one. Steve's got a very successful business. He's hiring. He needs computers.
Oh, dude, that's so crazy, dude. I do remember like when I was a kid. Is it okay if I interject?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. And just to share, man, like I remember like when I was a kid, they had some fella had pornos at his house. He had magazines. And somebody had like chiseled some tits into the wood, into a tree near our home and stuff like that. And we had that when I was young. And people would show up to that like it was some like kind of like a, you know, some mahogany chest mecca or something. You know, people would make the pilgrimage to see that in the woods.
That's
you know?
hot. Yeah,
it's hot. But at one point I had a buddy and his dad had some porno magazines. And dude, I remember once I'd seen those, I would bike across town on the weekends to go to their home, and I would kind of loiter around the house until there was an opportunity to go see them. And one weekend I even broke into a window. I didn't break the glass. That's crazy. But I did.
That would have been too much.
Yeah.
You would have crossed the line, yeah.
But I snuck in and I didn't realize it at the time. It was just like, I didn't even realize that I was doing it. But when I later look back at it, it was like, oh, it just like, there was a comforting thing, or there was like this addiction that started.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on, man. So you had taken these computers in.
Yeah. And, you know, it was just a sign that I was really struggling with this. I couldn't stop. And, you know, there was such a progression to this. You know, even like taking more risk on where I'd watch porn. I'd watch it in the office on my work computer, which is kind of insane when